Welcome, everyone, and thank you for attending our webinar on the science of suggestions. The goal for this webinar and some of the things we're going to be talking about today is really how to boost your ticket average through menu engineering and suggestive selling. And we're going to be focusing specifically on your online ordering tickets through your online ordering site. First of all, a quick introduction. My name is Duessa Holscher, and I am the Chief Product Officer for Granberry Solutions. Granberry is really comprised of some restaurant experts. We have a lot of technologies that we offer to restaurants. We work with a lot of pizza restaurants, fast casual restaurants, coffee shops, and other restaurants throughout the country to help improve their operations through technologies like point of sale, online ordering, mobile and kiosk ordering, business intelligence solutions, and customer loyalty. We've been working with thousands of online ordering websites with our customers. We've experienced a lot of growth as a company with over 8,000 active clients and over 100 employees. We've processed 75 million in online sales last year and served over 2.7 million online consumers. And so as we've worked with all of these restaurants to help improve their bottom line with online ordering, we've learned a few lessons. We've learned that consumers really love online ordering. And the number one reason that they love it is not what you might think, which is convenience. Really the reason is that it gives the consumer more control over their ordering experience. Customers like their order to be right. They want accuracy, and they want the speed and ease of ordering online. What we've found for our restaurant owners is that online ordering also increases ticket averages, it increases customer frequency, increases customer satisfaction, it improves the effectiveness of promotions, and it can help save some labor costs. We know that online ordering is very prevalent in the restaurant business. Chains are doing it across different segments, 60% of pizza chains, 61% of sandwich chains, chicken, Mexican, Asian. Everyone is jumping into online ordering, both for delivery and pickup type orders. And last year we learned that this emphasis on online ordering and other digital technologies is really having an impact on the industry and the pizza industry in particular. So 40% of major pizza chain sales came from digital orders last year, and it's caused chains to increase their market share over independent restaurants. So our goal at Granberry is to help independent restaurants get their share and increase their sales and compete with the chains that are offering these kinds of technologies. We also believe that independent restaurants can even be more effective by using some of the tools that we offer for suggestive selling. So that's a little bit what we're going to talk about today. Now, this webinar is really designed to show you some tips about how to improve your menu and how to improve the effectiveness of suggestive selling online. Of course, it is primarily oriented around our online ordering system. So if you're currently using online ordering through Granberry, I think you'll find a lot of tips that will be helpful that you can implement in your menu. But even if you're not currently using our online ordering, if you're using another provider, or if you're just thinking about getting into online ordering, I'm hoping you'll find some useful tips in this webinar that you can implement in your own business. So I want to talk a little bit about the power of suggestion and the history of suggestive selling in marketing. We see suggestive selling everywhere we go. We might not really recognize it because it can be subliminal. But if you notice, for example, this familiar logo, there is a subliminal suggestive message in it. If you look at the white space between the E and the X, you'll see an arrow, which signifies the company's mission of moving things around the country. Here's another example of Tostitos. Again, a subtle message of two people sharing a bowl of salsa with a chip. The Tour de France does a nice job of making the back of their logo into a banner. And of course, we've all heard about the subliminal advertising that Coca-Cola regularly employs. This image of a Coke can with ice on it has been described as a woman laying on her side. So we know that subliminal and suggestive selling is among us. Marketers say that the very first time that we did any kind of suggestive selling or that came up was in 1957 when a marketer added these subliminal frames in a movie. So very quickly flashed on the screen, too quickly for consumers to actually see it. But the supposed impact was a 57% increase in popcorn sales and an 18% increase in Coke sales when they showed these subliminal messages. Now later, the marketer admitted that his data was faked and that didn't really happen. But it was widely credited as the first time suggestive selling was started. So many of us would like to employ this Jedi version of suggestive selling, where we use some sort of mind control over our consumers in order to help guide them to the right ideas of what they might want to order. But that's not really the kind of suggestive selling that we're talking about here. We don't want to trick our customers or be subliminal. We really want to just present them with options that they may not have thought of or they may be interested in as they're purchasing. We've repeatedly heard through research and with many of our own customers that online orders have a higher ticket average than in-house orders, and that can be as high as 30%. So that's what we're looking to help make true for all of our customers. So today we're going to be covering some menu engineering techniques, some suggestive selling options in the online ordering software, and how you can evaluate your results. So increasing your ticket averages may not be the only reason that you want to upsell or that you might want to employ these techniques. You also might want to direct customers to some of your more profitable items. You might want to promote your brand story by sharing your highlighted items. You might want to encourage customers to choose healthy selections or new selections, or you might want to move certain products more quickly. The average person makes more than 200 decisions about food every day, and many of those are unconscious decisions as they look at menus, as they look in the refrigerator or in their cupboard, or look at the grocery shelf. So how do we tap into that decision-making process? Well, the first step is to know what you're trying to accomplish. So that means you want to analyze your menu. This is a common matrix that's used to analyze your menu. So you map all of your menu items into 4 quadrants based on the profitability of the item and how many you're currently selling. You can see the items that are not sold and are not profitable are probably things you should be removing from your menu, versus the items that sell well and are profitable are your star items. Those are the items that you really want to feature on your menu. Many studies have been done about menu engineering in a traditional sense. So when you have a printed menu in a restaurant, researchers have studied the way eye movements look around the menu and how consumers actually look at a menu. They don't go from left to right like reading a book. They tend to start in the middle on the right and then go up, over to the left, down, etc., as you see these numbers. So smart restaurant operators have used this kind of knowledge for a long time to help direct consumers into the items that they are most interested in selling. We've also used techniques such as highlighting, different color coding, stars, other types of attention-getting devices to the most profitable items. And we're all pretty familiar with those kind of devices on menus. One of the things that we're challenged with, especially with online ordering, is what we call the burden of choice. And that's when consumers have so many choices. If your menu is extensive, if there's so many options, that they get overwhelmed, and it makes it difficult for them to choose what they want. Research has shown that in fast food, consumers prefer a maximum of 6 items per category, and in fine dining, 7 starters and desserts and 10 entrees max. So trying not to overwhelm your customers with a lot of choices is sometimes a smarter option than keeping every possible option on your menu. Some of the recommendations for menu engineering are to highlight 1 item per section, to have a maximum of 5 to 7 items per section, and to recognize that the way consumers will look at the first spot, the second spot, then the last spot. So let's see how that translates to online ordering. Now, I'm going to be showing you guys a lot of examples that are taken from different customer sites that we work with. I just wanted to mention that you're going to see, I didn't pick all of the examples because they are the most beautiful layouts or the most beautiful pictures. I wanted to show a wide variety of what different customers are doing. So just so you're aware, there is a lot of flexibility in how people choose to set up their online ordering and how far they take it with the graphical look of it. So this is an example of one of our customers' layouts, and you can see very common that the first item here, which we know is the first thing that the customer is going to choose, is the create your own pizza. Now, in this case, that is one of the least expensive items. So it might be something to consider as you're looking at your layout. What order do you want your items to display in, and do you want to feature any particular items in those hot spots that that customer looks at first? Another technique that you can do is even just highlighting items with your photos. So in this case, we put a yellow box around one of the pizzas that might want to be featured, and that's going to help draw attention to that particular item. Another important thing to think about is your organization. Here's a customer that has a number of different categories in their online ordering. And the first category is the first screen that their customers see when they enter the online ordering site. So one thing to consider about this is what do you want to have be your first category? In this case, if pizza is your main food and the first category is pizza, a lot of customers may never really even look at some of your other categories. So, sometimes people will choose to feature their appetizers as the first category just to help raise awareness that that is available, because you know that the customer is looking for pizza. They're going to click on the pizza to get there, but they might get distracted by seeing an appetizer on their way. Another option to consider is whether you have online ordering specials or deals that you want to feature. So a lot of customers, this is an example of a pretty simple online ordering system where they have chosen to put specials on the first thing that people see. And those specials can be either discounted coupon type driven specials, or maybe they're just featured highlighted items that you really want to draw attention to. But that first menu screen is a great opportunity it's a great piece of real estate, so you want to make sure that you make the most of it. Here's another example of a coffee customer that has done a good job of putting their breakfast items first. So great example here, if you were going to go and order some coffee, you might be looking for a latte or a cappuccino and may not realize that they have these delicious breakfast sandwiches that you're shown as you go into the menu, but they might look tempting as you see them here. So just to review, some of the layout options that we recommend are consider starting with specials, house favorites, or a selection of profitable items. Don't always put your least expensive items first. Use the top spots for your most profitable items, and use a photo border or other type of treatment if you'd like to highlight any particular item. Now I'd like to talk a little bit about the power of photos. when you have online ordering, of course, customers are going to make choices with their eyes, and you want it to look appetizing. So it's really, really important to use nice photography. This is an example of one of our clients. They actually did all their own photography using an iPhone, so it wasn't particularly difficult, but they did a really nice job of consistent, having everything shot on the same angle, and making it look very, very appetizing. We recommend that if you have difficulty with this, that you consider getting a photographer to assist with your photos. The power of photos is amazing and is going to make a huge impact on your online success. If this is the best type of photo you can take, this is an unfortunate example. You might want to actually hire a professional or even a college student or someone who enjoys doing photography and can help get those consistent pictures where everything's plated the same way and there's a consistent clean background and it looks appetizing. I even saw recently that Whole Foods is offering a food photography workshop at some of their locations. So, quick, easy class that you might consider taking or sending a staff member to. Okay, so another feature that for our current online ordering customers who use our Let's Get system you may not be aware of is we do have the ability to add a landing page image onto the main screen. So this is another place next to your order type buttons. This is another place where you can put a promo message. You can put some appetizing pictures of your food, or let customers know about specials or new items you might have, that sort of thing. So that's super easy to add to your main screen. I want to talk a little bit about food descriptions. This is another area that you have the opportunity to really shine with your online ordering system. So look at the difference between this description and this one. The first one is a simple listing of what the ingredients that come with this dish. And that's what we see a lot of people doing on their online ordering site. But taking a few minutes to really describe those ingredients, add these descriptive words of the creamy garlic sauce, all-natural grilled chicken, smoked bacon, it makes it sound much more appetizing and will really help draw customers to that item. Research has shown that descriptive menu labels can increase sales by as much as 27%. So it really does have an impact on consumer perception of your food. Also, be sure that you're not assuming that customers know anything. Here's a great example of a coffee shop that's using our online ordering, and they have described even the simple things like a cappuccino and an Americano, because you can't always assume that the customer knows what you're talking about. Some creative ways to use your descriptions that really have been proven to be effective. Use your relatives. People like to order Grandma's special sauce or Aunt Sally's cookies. It personalizes it and it makes it more real and more relatable. Use geographic references. Consumers like diverse and exotic ingredients. Here's an example of a customer that is doing a nice job of that. They're selling their famous fruit cake with Texas pecans. And I don't really know what makes pecans better from Texas, but just the fact that you're calling it out makes it sound like it's something special. You can also use brand names. So here's an example where you can see they've added Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. If you're using recognizable brand names in your ingredients, that will help consumers draw to those items. Use what we call sensory labels. So here's a good example of that, where we talk about tangy chunks of naturally sweet pineapple. it makes you almost be able to taste it in your mouth as you're reading it, and makes you crave one of those pizzas. Tell a personal story with your descriptions. This one says, John's award-winning pizza, custom-made German brat sausage, Minnesota wild rice, fresh mushrooms and mozzarella over garlic and herb sauce. Yeah, sure, it's good. You can just tell the personality there that is unique, that this restaurant and the owner of this restaurant really has something special. Healthy words are certainly popular to use, so if you can use words like local, sustainable, natural, gluten-free, organic with any of your food, be sure to include those in the descriptions. Although research shows that things like low-fat and sugar-free are less popular than they have been in the past. Also, think about what your description means to your guest. This is an example that I took a picture of in a restaurant recently that I thought was pretty funny. It's grilled chicken and enchilada, and the chicken says marinated, charbroiled airline chicken breast. Now, I've never heard the term airline chicken breast before, but I have to say that what that calls to mind is that delicious food I get when I travel on an airplane, and not something I would probably want to order in a restaurant. So I'm sure that's not what they meant by that description. I actually looked it up and found out that an airline breast is a breast that has part of the wing attached to it, but don't assume your customers are going to know that, and think about the implications of what you're describing here. Another thing I wanted to point out, again, for our Let's Get users, is that our descriptions do appear on the right-hand side of our modifier selection page. So again, it's just another place where your consumers can see the description, and another reason to make sure that your descriptions are delicious sounding. You can also think about putting descriptions for your overall sections. So you have a menu category of pizzas. What can you talk about related to your pizzas overall? This is a nice example of either made to order, there's homemade hand-tossed dough, homemade sauces, and so it really helps describe the process and the care and love that you put into your food. You can also use graphical section descriptions. So that's another way to kind of spruce up the look overall and to help bring to light some of those mouth-watering images of your food. So just moving on to some tips about price. Some suggestions, again, from research that's been done about menu pricing that you might want to try is don't always list your items from least to most. You do want to mix up price points so that more expensive items are next to less expensive items. One trick that people will do is what's called anchoring. So you take your most profitable item, the one that you really want to sell, and you put it next to a really high-priced item. So that you're not really expecting the consumer to pick the high-priced item, but the next item they come to, they actually think, oh, that looks more reasonable. You can use top spots for your most profitable items, which aren't always your highest priced. You can consider hiding prices or removing the dollar sign. If you end prices in 0, 25, 50, or 75, that is generally seen more favorably as ending in 99 or 97, which connotes value, but not always quality. Okay, now I'm going to move a little bit into some of the suggestions in the online ordering. And when we think about ordering food online, it's really what we call an experience-type product. So if you're going to go online and buy a TV, you can search for TV information. You can read consumer reports. You can read data and specifications. And you can get a lot of very objective information about what is the best TV. But when you're buying an experience-type product like food, you really cannot evaluate that product until you try it. Sure, you can listen to other customer recommendations, but they don't have the same palate, and they're not going to necessarily enjoy the food the way you would. So it's really a little bit, it's less objective and more subjective, and that's why recommendations and suggestions have such an impact on this type of purchase. Research shows that 45% of successful suggestions are the first item presented. So customers they're pretty amenable to suggestions. 38% of those would be the second item presented. Also, side orders tend to be the most effective thing to suggest. So if you compare doing a size upsell, a beverage, or a dessert, the side orders are the most effective. Most effective suggestions are 20% or more lower in price compared to the item ordered. So if you order an entree or a pizza, it's pretty much common sense that the most effective suggestion is going to be something that's significantly less expensive. Okay. Inside of the online ordering system, we have several different types of suggestions that you can use. The first is item add-ons. So these are any kind of modifiers that you might add to an item that would actually increase the price. In this case, we have flavors that you can add to your latte, or toppings that you can add on your salad, making sure that you give people these options on their sandwiches, their pizzas, their salads can make a big impact on, even though you're only adding 50 cents, if you do that on every order, it can make the big impact overall. The second one is our item upsell, and this is an option based, so as the customer orders the item, we can actually recommend an item to go with it. This is an example I'm showing. The screenshot is an example from Thrive Online, which is our new online ordering platform. And with Thrive Online, we have two options for item upsell. We can base it on your recommendation, so whatever you as a restaurant owner choose that you'd like to present to go with each particular item. Or we can also recommend it based on what that customer has ordered before. So if they've ordered a pizza and a 2-liter last time, and they order the pizza again this time, it's going to recommend that they might want to add a 2-liter again. And then finally, we have a final upsell at the end of the order. So another great opportunity to, as the customer is reviewing their order, to present them with something that they might want to add. So for those of you that are using the Let's Get system, and if you're interested in setting up any suggestions, we do have quite a number of guides in the system. If you just look if you log into your system and look at the FAQ section, and this will help explain how to do some of these upsells, how to change the menu descriptions, all of the things that we've talked about today. If you can't figure it out from that and you need assistance, you can, of course, call our customer support team. I'd like to talk a little bit about analyzing upsells. And again, for those of you who are using the Let's Get system, we have some new reports that you may not know were available. They were added in August of last year, and they really are useful for telling you the effectiveness of your upsells. So this is an example of the report, and we can see here that this customer is suggesting chips and guacamole and chips and queso on many of their items. And they're running about a 1 to 3% success rate on that, depending on the item. Obviously, the large chips and queso at 2.9% conversion is the most successful one. And then their final upsell, they're actually getting a 5% conversion on, which is for a large soft drink. So this really helps you tell what's working, what's not, and lets you adjust accordingly so that you're really focusing in on the most successful upsells. Another interesting result we can see on this is we can look at what did the customer order and then what was recommended. And so we're recommending chips and guac and chips and queso on every item. Interesting, though, that some of the items it wasn't very successful at all. If you look at the chicken salad, nobody's ordering chips with their salad, so that might be something you want to think about doing a different upsell on. But if you look at the bean and rice bowl, you can see that the chips and guacamole are very successful, 20%, and so versus in the chicken burrito where the chips and queso were more popular. So just some interesting data you can start looking at and playing with and testing to see what your results are. Overall, then you can look at upsell totals by store and see overall percentage of what the success rate is and what kind of extra revenue is coming in through your upsells. Another thing to look at is here's an example of a store that has multiple appetizers that they're suggesting on every item that's ordered. So they've really listed all of their appetizers out. And we can see the results there of what's working. So again, when we look at the conversion percentage, we can see, well, the Coke cans were pretty popular, so that's a good result. Other than that, the fried items seem to be most successful. Fried cheese, fried ravioli, and fried mushrooms, stuffed jalapenos. So it would be interesting to experiment a little bit and see if what works differently. Does it work better if you have a lot of choices, or does it work better if you narrow it down and only show the items that seem to be the most popular? So I encourage you, if you're working with your online ordering, the suggestive selling part is really all about testing and experimenting. So set them up, review your reports, see what seems to be working, test different combinations, track your results, and just keep testing. You can change it every month and see if you can continually nudge up that total. That's the goal. It does take some experimentation sometime to see what's going to work with your customers. Okay, well that's pretty much the presentation. As a takeaways, some things for you to go and look at for your online ordering is review your menu layout and organization, add some amazing descriptions of your food, make sure that your photos really look appetizing and that you have photos of all your items, add some upsells, and then review your upsell reports in a month or so and test your changes. Just as a reminder, for those of you who are not currently doing online ordering, Granberry does offer easy, integrated, and affordable online ordering with various point-of-sale systems, as well as some other technologies. If you'd like to learn more about it, we encourage you to schedule a personal demo, visit our website, and of course, if you are an existing customer, you can contact customer care for any assistance on these items. All right, well, I'm happy to open it up to questions now if we have any. Please, just a reminder, if you do have any questions, you can type them in the question box in the GoToMeeting dashboard. We will be making the presentation available. I believe that we'll be sending a follow-up email, so if you would like a copy of the presentation or the video of the webinar, that will be available on our website. All right, well, I'm not seeing any questions in the question panel. So thank you very much for your attendance today, and good luck with your suggestive selling.
Oh, Duessa, it looks like we have a few last-minute questions here. One of those is, what is an excellent or target upsell percentage?
Well, I think the results that we've seen tracking from our customers is adding about, that the upsell is working on about 5% of the the orders that it's presented to. So that's kind of a high-end average that we've seen, but I think the reality is it's going to just take experimentation for each client to see what you can get, what your baseline is, and then just try to continually improve that for your restaurant.
Okay. Another question is, do you have any guides or directions on how to make some of these changes to my online ordering?
Yeah, so if you look at the FAQs in your Let's Get systems, if you log in, on the left-hand side there's a menu that says FAQs, and there are a number of articles and guides there that explain how to add the upsells, how to modify them, how to make these changes to your menu. So it's all there. If you have any questions about it, then you can certainly contact our online ordering support team.
Okay. And then I have one question that's, do your systems use tablets? So
yeah, I think in terms of if you're talking about point-of-sale systems, in the restaurant we do offer a tablet-based system. Android or iPad are both compatible, and that's for the in-store POS. Of course, the online ordering system is web-based and can be accessed via tablet, mobile, or desktop browser. And the online ordering system is, of course, fully integrated with the in-store restaurant POS. So those orders come through directly into your POS system and automatically print in the kitchen.
Okay, it looks like those are all of the questions that we have today.
Okay, everyone. Thank you so much for your participation.